Hello there. God, it feels so good to actually do that in sync.
Yeah, I feel so good for not have to edit that.
It's the first time.
Beautiful.
Yes. Welcome back to Star Wars in the Galaxy, watching all the Star Wars we can get our hands on. I'm Jacob.
I'm Eli.
And we are recording together in person for the first time in ages, since the logistics will now allow us.
Yes.
Eli, help me out here. What number episode is this?
This is episode 137 of Star Wars in the Galaxy, watching all the Star Wars we can get our hands on.
Yes, and this is... Am I right? Season 18
of Star Wars.
We are starting the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. The bigger, the badder, the better, harder, faster, better, stronger, longer, Jedi Survivor.
Yes, everyone's favorite intergalactic game show, Jedi Survivor. There's a meme that Connor showed me, like before it came out, like that it was Cal's head photoshopped on like a contestant from Survivor. And the tagline was Jedi Surf.
I love it.
But yeah, so we're going to be covering today. We're as always in debt to Gamer's Little Playground, who
oh my gosh,
montage we're following. We always do them. They provide great scene montages. The one we have for Jedi Survivor is nearly 7 hours long.
My God.
We have decided to make this go a little bit faster. We've decided to up our amount we're watching per episode from 40-minute chunks that we usually do to 45-minute chunks.
It may not sound like a big difference, but it does cut down on the number of overall episodes.
It saves us an entire episode.
Yeah.
It saves us an entire episode.
So it does make a difference.
It does make a difference. And actually, I think the first ending at 45 minutes here is actually a fantastic cutting off.
Yeah, it's actually like it turns out to be a
covering Coruscant. That's it. We just get. I was worried as we were approaching the end. I'm like, oh no, are we gonna fit Bravo's death in here? And then he dies like 43 minutes, and I'm like, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
We don't have to deal with any other Coruscant stuff like in the aftermath of that stuff. Okay, that's fine.
It's a perfect stopping point.
Yeah. All right, Jacob. Do you want me to do summary, or do you want to do summary?
You got this one.
All right. In the first 45 minutes of Jedi Survivor, Cal Kestis, we find him in 9 BBY 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order, captured by the Empire on Coruscant, being flown by the former Jedi Temple that's now being turned into the Imperial Palace. That now has been turned into the Imperial Palace. Yeah, okay, thank God. I just wanted to check to see if I thought I hadn't muted myself for a second. Okay. Unmuted myself for a second. Okay. Yeah. He's been captured by local security. Help me out. What are they called? Best character in Galaxy Heroes. Help me out with this.
I beg your pardon? Sorry.
Help me out with this. The best character to use in Galaxy Heroes. He's been captured by Coruscant Underworld Police. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. What are they called? They're called the CFP, the Coruscant
Security Force.
The Coruscant Security Corps.
But cut for the win. Anyway,
He
is immediately captured. So he's being captured and taken to the senator for the Utapau system, Senator Daho Sejan. Cal, in this time, has made his name as an insurgent, with him, BD-1, and his lightsaber taking on massive Imperial facilities and forces, amounts of Imperial forces, that is, for Saw Gerrera and his movement. The crew of the Stinger Mantis, which is somehow still in Cal's possession, we'll get to that later, has gone their separate ways, and Cal now works with a crew that works with him and the partisans, including a woman named Gabs, two Klatooinians that are collectively called the Twins, a former Republic pilot named Bravo, and a newcomer who is a scoundrel type named Bode Akuna of Fuck Bode Akuna fame. I would like to give our shout outs to Pod Save America, who gave us this bit idea, because every time they talk about the 47th Vice President of the United States, they say Mike Pence of Hang Mike Pence fame. So that's where I got Bode Akuna of Fuck Bode Akuna fame from.
I see.
But anyway, so shout outs to John and Tommy. There we go. So yeah, it's Cal, Bode, Gabs, Bravo, and the Twins but seems like the mission's gone wrong until Cal is brought before Senator Sejan and uses the cunning strategy of the cunning strategy introduced by Bob Parr in the classic film The Incredibles.
Oh god.
You sly dog, you got me monologue. He allows Sejan to monologue until he gets his lightsaber back from him, and BD1 hops on his back, and he reveals that his capture was all a facade to try to hack into the Senator's yacht to gain intel about Imperial troop movements. The heist seems to be going pretty well, with Bode, the twins, and Gabs helping out and breaking into the yacht. However, as they manage to get the intel from the Senator's yacht, suddenly they are surrounded by Imperial troop transports, and the Senator is stabbed in the chest by a red lightsaber. A lightsaber that belongs to the Ninth Sister, who somehow survived her falling off of the origin tree on Kashyyyk back in Jedi Fallen Order. We'll get to that. The Ninth Sister rains hellfire down on the insurgents, killing the twins and Gabs, and forcing Bode, Bravo, and Cal to make a desperate escape. Cal eventually catches up with the Ninth Sister and duels her after she refuses to show some remorse and turn back to the light side. He eventually breaks out his double-bladed lightsaber into two lightsabers and is forced to behead the Inquisitor, saying that it is time to set her free. Imperial troops hot on their tail, Cal gives Bode a locator beacon to find him afterwards, where he's next going to hide out. And Bode and Bravo in Z-95 headhunters try to make it out of Coruscant alive. Bravo dies in the escape, leaving Cal and Bode the only two survivors of the mission to Coruscant, as Cal manages to jump to hyperspace.
Yeah. Before we jump, I guess to start us off, I forgot how relentlessly fun these games are. Even just to watch the cutscenes. And I can't remember which one of our podcasting friends, acquaintances, co-conspirators made this joke, but Eli and I would often play this game, and I would try a little bit, and then I would say, you know what, Eli, I prefer to just watch. You can do it. And yeah, some people just prefer to watch other people do their stuff. And when it comes to Fallen Order, that's me. And Survivor as well.
Survivor, like I've heard a lot of people say that Fallen Order has a better story than Survivor, but Survivor has better gameplay. I'm like, no, man, it's both. Survivor is better in both aspects.
Yeah.
No, it of course, gorgeous graphics. I don't think it's a huge upgrade from Fallen Order. I don't notice a specific difference, but God, these graphics look fantastic. There are some beautiful shots in the Coruscant underworld. I'm glad we went to Coruscant. I'm glad that this mission exists. I will say that this section of Survivor, spoiler, is my least favorite part of the game story. Yeah. And that's not to say it's bad. It's very good. But I think the story gets a lot better once we're out of here.
Yeah. It's necessary to kick it off, but it does feel a little bit pilot-ish, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing.
It's fine. I have a few just general issues with it, but we'll get to that.
But it feels like it's just about getting us up to speed. Okay, first off, how cool is the opening? The shattered holocron, the shards.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a great recap.
You got that whole montage of Cal falling.
Playing in the background.
It kind of perfectly sets the tone.
It's a great tone setter. They did a fantastic job. Star Wars has been doing a lot of recaps lately. What with Obi-Wan, with the recap of the prequels.
Yeah.
And Jedi Survivor with the recap of Fallen Order. On these recaps.
It's not just previously on Jedi Fallen Order. This is a recap of some real style. The crumbling Jaro Topal statue, like his master.
And it tells us the important parts of last game that we need to know. I love the line, Night Sisters and Jedi do not travel together, but survivors, we adapt. And
She
then I
said the
wrote-
line. She said it.
and then I wrote in my notes line of dialogue for Cal. He goes, "Not just survivors." Looks into camera.
Jedi
Jedi
survivors. All right, wrap it up. We can all go
Roll
home now.
credits.
We could all go home now.
But I will say, Survivors We Adapt is a damn good encapsulation of Jedi survivors like story and themes.
Yeah. Hey, no, it is. It's in the
It is
name.
all about the ways that survivors of traumatic experiences carry on. Very much, if Fallen Order was about that in the short term, and also about like reflection about holy shit, we went down this way, whether it was the Jedi and then its Sisters Republic, whatever it was. How did this happen?
Yeah.
The Fallen Order was how did this happen? Survivors, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in many ways, Fallen Order is how do you when your entire world is destroyed, when everything you know is destroyed, how do you find your North Star? How do you fight the good fight? Figure out what that good fight is when the odds are so overwhelmingly against you. And then Fallen Order, and then Survivor, to me, is even when you heal and have success in those more immediate regards, how do you still figure out who you are long term? But talk about just this opening, I think, in terms of how gorgeous this game is, the opening scene is pretty amazing. Cal seeing the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
We get the gorgeous shots of this super, almost that signature Coruscant sunset. It's so reminiscent of Revenge of the Sith that it's almost blood red, that sunset. It's just so red.
This is one of my biggest complaints about this. Like at the very beginning, this is just my thing. You're going to show us the Imperial Palace on Coruscant, a place that used to mean so much to Cal and has now been ruined by the Empire. And you're just going to fly us right past it?
I think that's the point, though, is we see Cal's reaction. Like, we see him
maybe it's selfish, but I wanted to go in.
Oh, man. It would be cool to see the inside of the Imperial Palace and see what they've done in there. It would be so cool. But I think that was a really striking moment. The music swells. We think we're going to get this. Maybe are we going to get some big emotional reaction from Cal? Not even a lick of emotion, not even a lick of grief. He's just stone-faced.
Yeah.
And we see the guards looking at him. Like,
you have to understand, some of the guards are the twins.
The twins. Yeah, sorry. You see the twins, everyone around him in this moment looks at Cal.
Yeah.
Thinking, what is his reaction going to be? And his reaction is nothing. And that is our very first hint. And I guess it's not a hint because it's not something to figure out, but that is our very first moment when we realize, and that's really what Coruscant to me is all about, is, oh, this is the new Cal. This is 5 years later, but years
also we
rougher, tougher, more jaded, more mature.
We hear Cal say to Bode later that he did. I see where you're going with this, but also you got to also remember he was captured.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's like that's what I'm saying is like he has to compartmentalize that grief, and he's gotten so good at it through fighting this fight. And I think Bode said something later on.
Like, it's not like he didn't think anything about it.
No, I'm not saying that he didn't think anything about it. I'm just saying like he didn't show it. He didn't let it affect him. And that shows shit. We're just not gonna mess with this anymore. That shows how far he's come and how much harder he's become as a person. He's been hardened and toughened and more rough because of all the experiences that he's had in these 5 years. I think Bode says something. He says that's what the Empire does best. They take something you love
and make it
so you can't stand it anymore. Wonderful quote. Still fuck Bode Akuna, but wonderful quote. And that kind of is emblematic.
Bode Akuna as a person, as the character.
No, he's a great character.
He is maybe one of the best characters in this game.
He's super fun. I love when he's around. The betrayal. Spoiler alert, I assume if you're listening. The betrayal.
Fuck that guy, but also what a well-designed character. Like, God, it's one of those things where I think a lot of us, like, I remember at the beginning being like, yeah, Bode's okay. Bode's good. He seems like a good guy. He cares for his daughter and all that kind of stuff. And they drop it on us, and I'm like, oh, no. Yeah.
It's such a good, it's amazing.
But we'll get to that when we get to that. But
I feel like the fact that we're still saying fuck Bode Akuna is actually a credit to the story and a credit to his character.
Yeah,
you know?
and credit to Noshir Dalal.
Yeah, absolutely.
doing-
All of the above.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
but now the lighting of Lower Coruscant looked great. I will say, shout out to Survivor, because we're going to be talking a little bit about gameplay stuff is going to be sprinkled in throughout, mostly when Cal gets new abilities, one of which he does get in this segment, which we'll talk about later. I will just say, props to Survivor, props to Respawn. This was not an easy thing to do, and they did it. Jacob, think about what powers and abilities Cal has at the end of Fallen Order.
All right. Yeah.
Think about the powers and abilities Cal has at the very beginning of Jedi Survivor. What's the difference?
Off the top of my head, I'm not going to be able to tell you because it's been so long.
There's no difference.
Oh, really?
There is no difference. Cal has all of the abilities that he ended off Fallen Order with. I haven't played a lot of these types of games, but I've heard from people who have that a common trope is somehow to make you lose all of it and start back up again.
Yeah.
For practical reasons, because the controller, you can only do so many things on the controller and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
And they did not do that.
That's wonderful.
And I think it's a credit that they were able to do that and come up with new stuff. And because if you had it, I'm sure you could make it work story-wise with him losing everything, but it'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
It's an extreme credit to them that they didn't do that.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
But yeah. No, we have that walking tour at the beginning as Cal's being led by the stormtroopers in the cups. Yeah. There's that exchange, which I love. It's just like a minor exchange from two unnamed characters that don't matter. But it's just so great. We're citizens. You can't treat us like this. Yeah? Says who?
Yeah.
One of the best descriptions of imperial political doctrine in Star Wars canon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is what fascism, totalitarianism, dictatorship, whatever you want to call it, is all about.
Yeah, he's on his...
It's a feature, not a bug.
He's on his Taskmaster Grinch shit.
He's on his Taskmaster Grinch shit.
Shout out to Spark of the Rebellion and the Yogan Fruit.
Yep.
But yeah, the opening walk, because we get this long, sort of extended walking cutscene through part of the underworld as as Cal is being handed off from the underworld police to Senator Sejan. And it's really illuminating. Like, Senator Sejan has a ton of power to be unilaterally basically taking control of a whole section of Coruscant.
Yeah.
It's like lore-wise, it's incredibly interesting that all of a sudden we have someone who's not he's hunting the Jedi, and it's not being ran through Vader, it's not being ran through the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
He's like going rogue and doing something all on his own. And it's almost disappointing that part of the story kind of gets shut down pretty quickly when Sejan gets killed.
Yeah, it's an interesting part of the story, and I also think it's interesting because of another thematic thing that I was thinking of, because of something like a throwaway dialogue they say, which actually I did not write in my notes, but I wish they had, which is some of the Stormtrooper guard says, like, people don't see Sejan anymore.
I missed that.
Like, basically, they see him on the Holo...
Yeah.
On the holovids talking about stuff. But like in terms of like actual public persona, he tends to stay out of it.
Yeah.
And
he's in the shadows.
It's one of those things where it's one of those great commentaries on fascism and about government control and how it can get out of hand. Where if the representatives can't afford to just not see, that's unintentional.
Okay, yeah.
That was unintentional.
Yeah, go on.
To afford to not be in the presence of their constituents or anybody around them. You know, like Bode says, I've been to Utapau later. I've been to Utapau. They spit your name out like a curse. When's the last time Sejan's been to Utapau?
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, lore-wise, I think it's very interesting. Because it makes me wonder, what is this in a time when being a senator still means something in the Empire? It clearly is, but at the same time, he's not really doing the duties of a senator. He's doing all these back alley deals, and he's acting like a governor of a section of Coruscant. So clearly, he's up to a lot of shit. But
I wonder if the Empire I wonder if the top Imperial people have been watching him for a while, and this was like the thing. Oh, we can catch him in this.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe it's just at this point there's so much wheeling and corruption. The Senate's kind of slowly being it's slowly being sidelined by Palpatine, and as it's being sidelined, Palpatine and the rest of the real power structure of the Empire they care less and less.
By the way, Sejan is a really fun character. I like him a lot. Not obviously the person, but as a character, I think he's really well played. TJ Ramini, who voiced Del Meeko in Battlefront 2, voiced him.
Man.
Good stuff, like really good quick little, I would say like a quick little cameo in there. Very fun stuff. As we alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our main character.
Cal. All right.
Cal's got swagger.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love his quippiness, like that moment when the stormtrooper is like saying, "You'll wish you'll be dead." When this guy's, oh man, the senator's gonna fuck you up.
And he just says nothing.
He's just always nice to meet a fan. This is not the Cal of 5 years ago. Like, this guy has some serious confidence.
Yeah, no,
like,
this is not the scared little kid anymore. This is, I've seen this before. Do your worst.
Cal being quote unquote captured by Senator Sejan is such an exciting way for us to meet the new version of him.
Yeah.
Not to skip through too much of their exchange, which is a little bit interesting in its own right. But the way he's just like, all right, it's time. Stands up, BD pops off his handcuffs, just as cold as a cucumber. Did you really think that you could capture me? And he just like, oh, that's mine. Pulls his lightsaber back. You're just like, dude, every time, dude, Cal in the contrast is just so amazing. Coming straight out of Fallen Order, where Cal was basically like hyperventilating and freaking out. He was like just like hanging on the ragged edge, trying to keep it together, being thrown through all these situations. And now he's completely in control. The difference is amazing.
And then the Cal pulls the lightsaber, and then of course Sejan delivers his famous line, "You sly dog, you got me monologuing."
What does he actually? He says, "You'll burn for this."
Yeah.
Right? Which, spoiler alert: Cal did not, in fact, burn for this.
But no, I will say we get the version of that time on the Survivor version of that time on Kanan Moria, or the swarm of Venomites on Draboon, which is the failed coup on Norsid.
Yeah.
That failed coup on Norsid, that was your doing, wasn't it? Also, Gabs mentioned something about a job on Carida, or Carida. I like to say Carida. It's one of those Star Wars planet names that I like to, that like they say, and I'd like to say another way, because I do. It's weird, I will say. It's weird that Saw is a major part of the beginning of this game, and yet we don't see him. Yeah.
He just gets alluded to a lot.
Yeah.
And it makes him scary, because the way that they talk about him, like, he's clearly a figure that's supposed to strike fear.
I know, but like we saw him in the last guy. I would have just at least loved like a hologram of you got some great information to me, Kestis. Something like that.
I don't know. I think that it's fun the way that he's become such a powerful figure that like the illusion is all we need.
Yeah, I get that.
Which so personally I liked it, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
And then we have
he just absolutely turns the tables on the smug, fancy dress senator.
It's fantastic. I will say this one, which both of these are great. We'll talk about the flip later. But when he's monologuing about the Jedi, of course, one of the things I said, one of the quotes I wrote down is, "This relic of a corrupt institution destroyed by its own arrogance." And I'm like, he's not wrong.
He is not wrong. He's also talking about himself. Like, the Senate is on the way out.
That's also true. Like he's wrong about the Jedi themselves, but at least he knows what did them in. But of course, the one I'm thinking of, which I love for so many reasons, which is, "And to think one day our children will ask, what is this thing?" That's the hallmark of a genocide.
And then the way that Cal, that's clearly like the goal of the Empire.
It's the erasure of
he's
an identity.
Believer, which is like, we can't just, for the Empire to be successful, we can't just get rid of the Jedi. We have to stamp out like the very idea that the Jedi ever existed. We have to stamp out any belief or knowledge in the Force itself.
Yeah. And it's very depressing to see how well the Empire succeeded at that one.
Yes, they almost pull it off.
Like,
they come really close to pulling it off.
And even like by the time that like I'm thinking of when Rey tells Finn in Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth.
Yeah.
That the very idea of hope in the galaxy, of the Jedi in the galaxy, even by the time of the sequel trilogy, is still not believed by the entire galaxy.
Okay, to be fair though, even To be fair, though, a lot of lore does point to the fact that even before the rise of the Empire, that for most of the galaxy, the Jedi were this shadowy, mysterious organization, and the Force and the Jedi all work, depending on who you were and what your proximity to the Jedi was, could be pretty semi-mythical. So
Yes, but
the Empire certainly exacerbated that.
yeah.
But I want to, before we move on, I want to say as well, in regards to that, and that really is a memorable moment with Sejan holding the lightsaber, says, "My grandchildren would think, what is this?" Is when he turns that back around on Sejan and he says, they're going to see this lightsaber and know that the Jedi never stopped.
Someday when your children see this,
Yeah,
they'll know
that's
the
it.
Jedi never stopped fighting for them.
Goodness gracious, if we want like a moment that just encapsulates so much of what this story, and also not just Survivor, but Fallen Order, this story, Cal's journey, Cal's ascension, what it's all about. That's it in a capsule right there. That's a beautiful moment.
Actually, I think there's a lot of good theme statements. There's a there's something that Sejan says to him, which I think a lot of people have identified as a key thematic question of this game, which is when he asks Cal, "Why fight when you can't win?"
Yeah.
And it's a question that Cal is constantly seeking to redefine.
Yeah.
Throughout this game. And throughout Fallen Order 2, but specifically throughout this game, which is he's been fighting for 5 years.
Yeah.
In various different forms, with Seer and the Marin and the crew of the Mantis, with these new people, by himself, whatever it may be. But there's only so long you can fight without really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's and those questions start to really plague Cal, and I think this is undoubtedly a darker game for him. This is a darker story for him. We see that immediately with the Jedi mind trick. More morally gray, more morally questionable. There's still like some relics of old Cal. Like every time he introduces himself to somebody in this game, he still goes, "I'm Cal, that's BD1." Like he still introduces his droid.
Yeah.
Like he did 5 years ago. Like it's not all hope is lost. He's definitely not as innocent and young and naive, maybe you could say, as he was even 5 years ago.
Yeah, no, very far from it. Yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah.
I'll say, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. This is I remember I played Survivor quite a few times, and this line always bothered me when I got to in the campaign. I don't know what it was, but Gab says to Cal, "Gonna need a lot of torque. I'm talking Jedi torque."
I guess he's talking about using the Force.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but using the word torque in a Star Wars story doesn't exactly work for me. I can't exactly explain to you why it is, and I'm not saying it's qualitatively bad or anything. I'm just saying to me, it's like
you should make a lot. I don't know. There is something there.
It's one of those things where I remember when people said that a lot of that Peli Moto's dialogue in her episode in season 1 of The Mandalorian felt too real world for them.
I disagree.
I disagree.
Bro, she felt like quintessentially like campy original trilogy.
I'm not saying I agree with them. I'm saying I disagree.
Yeah.
But if there was an example of that,
yeah,
I think this is what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I agree with you. I was also like that line. I was, okay.
Like it's such a small detail, it doesn't really matter, but it was just like it just sounds wrong in my head.
All right. Short sidebar. I need to geek out. I don't know if you noticed anything about the Senator's yacht, but I need to geek out about this Ramsidian class yacht by Sinar Systems.
I typed out loud. I literally typed in my notes. I'm like, it looks a lot like the Scimitar. I wonder if it's the. I literally said to my brain. I literally said in the notes. I'm like, I wonder if it's Sinar design. I quickly Googled it. I'm like, oh, it is. And then 5 minutes later, they say it's a Sinar Ramsidian. I'm like, oh, they say it, and I just forgot.
And I think it's, first off, I love when they show designs evolving through Star Wars. You can trace, like, oh man, you see the TIE window in the Jedi Interceptor, this, that. What's really cool. But also, I think, on a level of this telling us something about the Senator, Maul's Scimitar, Sinar Systems they make a lot of things in Star Wars. Like, they make the TIE Fighter, they make a lot of mass production things, but Maul's Scimitar is like the cream of the crop. Like a lot of the Wraith Sinar designs, don't ask me how I know this. I've spent too much time over the years looking at visual dictionaries and encyclopedias and Wikipedia various ships. Jacob the ship guy. That's me sometimes. And I'm Jacob the ship guy right now. But these one-off yachts and ships were often the cream of the crop. They were custom made for the most powerful clients out there. And oftentimes, and if we're going off any similarities based off of the visual similarities between Maul's scimitar and Sejan's Ram City, this ship was probably also stuffed with illegal or cutting-edge technology, which, to be one of those clients, to be rubbing shoulders with Palpatine, Maul, no one too far down the ladder from literally the very, very top, Sejan must be a pretty freaking powerful guy. And it does have me interested now in, okay, wait, let's find out more about Sejan as well. That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Let's see.
Time out. I really have to use the bathroom.
But so someday when your children see this, they'll know the Jedi never stopped fighting for them. Yeah, obviously making, like, Cal is trying to, along with Kanan, Ezra, Luke, and any other Rebellion era Jedi, trying to redefine the Jedi lightsaber as a symbol of helping the oppressed, downtrodden, those who can't help themselves.
Yeah.
The symbol of hope. And then, Cal walks out of that ship, and the Empire corners them. And then Sejan stayed loyal to the Empire until the end. But he learns the same thing as every Imperial bureaucrat learns. He is not important to them.
Yeah.
They had no real use for him specifically. And so they killed him without a second thought.
Yeah, that's the thing about the empires. It's a true autocracy. If you're not the emperor, on some level you are expendable. Like, no matter how much power you amass, no matter how much wealth, no matter how many people at your command, no matter how many people are like scared shitless of your name, even if you're Darth Vader or Grand Moff Tarkin, as long as there's someone above you, you gotta watch your back.
We don't actually see an example for Tarkin, but it's undoubtedly true.
Yeah,
but in the comics, we absolutely see examples for Vader.
Yeah.
With Dr. Silo's creations. Palpatine is constantly trying to replace that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the Inquisitor feels deputized to stab an Imperial senator through the chest just like that.
By the way, speaking of that Inquisitor, this is my big thing. Like, they bring her back.
You're not a fan? You're not a fan of bringing her back?
No. Like, I know I've become a bit of a crank when it comes to bringing characters back from the dead. But if you're gonna kill her in 15 minutes anyway, might be a new Inquisitor.
There didn't even need to be an Inquisitor for this part. Like, this could have absolutely been like a whole squad of stormtroopers gunning him down.
I think it could have been another Inquisitor, and here's why.
Why?
I do think, I will say, even though I don't like the decision to bring her back, I think for bringing her back, they did well with what they did for her. Because it's to show how Cal has grown as a companion and a person.
Yeah, that's true. But I think there's so many other opportunities to do that in this story. I don't think it's strictly necessary.
Yeah, I think for the bad decision that was made, I think they did the best with it.
I guess I agree with that. Why bring her back? It's a good fight though.
It's a good fight, and what I love is it feels. I remember playing it for the first time. It feels a lot easier compared to Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
But it's not because the Night Sister got worse. In fact, she's probably gotten a little better. The only difference is Cal's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
And so this feels like a piece of cake to Cal, because in many ways it is. And like all that stuff with, of course, obviously Cal is a bit more morally gray in this story. But I'm not saying it's good that he beheads the Night Sister.
Yeah.
But he does give her quite a few opportunities to repent.
He says, hey, you're hey, you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
There's another way to...
You can still, you can...
Redemption is not easy when you're that far gone.
Absolutely.
And I think if there's one thing the Jedi Survivor taught us, it's exactly that.
Yeah, but he gives her quite a few opportunities. During that duel, of course, we finally get our dedicated dual sabers option, which was one of my only gameplay critiques of Fallen Order. That you can only do it as a special attack.
Yeah.
But they finally do it, and
The
it's
dual
great,
wielding, yeah.
and it's fantastic. But yeah, how hard the line of "Your name was Masana Tide. It's time to set you free" goes hard.
That hit very hard. That was pretty cool.
But the beheading was pretty damn brutal. I'll say that the beheading was very brutal. So that was quite a bit of a shock, you could say.
Yeah.
I'm honestly a little surprised the Mantis went to Cal in the split, given that it was Grease's ship.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make a suspend disbelief.
Yeah. And then
maybe Grease got the house.
Yeah. And then at the end of this, what I love that they managed to do, it's a pretty gutsy move to introduce this entire new crew and then Rogue One them all.
Yeah.
Except Bode, but like all of the other ones, except Bode, all gone within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's pretty gutsy. Obviously, it takes a while for Bravo.
Yeah. But they're all gone except for Bode, pretty much.
Yeah, but
I think that's just supposed to show, could you say it's a little bit of a red herring? You start to introduce all these people. No, I think it actually makes sense. You start to introduce all these people. These are Cal's crew. He's running with them. He's doing some missions with these guys. And then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, stuff goes south. The plan doesn't turn out correctly. And all of a sudden, they're all dead and Cal's done everything. And I think that kind of just underscores the type of life that Cal's living and the type of stress that he's been under.
Yeah.
To further emphasize who he is and who he's become.
Yeah.
And then furthermore to emphasize as well, like everyone else died except for Cal because he's really good at what he does and he's really powerful as a Jedi.
You contrast this with the admittedly dangerous lives that his former crewmates are living.
Yeah.
But they're not as dangerous as his.
Yeah.
Marin is traveling the galaxy and sometimes beating up stormtroopers when she can, to the point where they gave her a nickname when she's working for the Path, the Desert Ghost. Seer is mostly in the temples on Jeddah, trying to find stuff. Dangerous, don't get me wrong, but not as dangerous as Cal. And then Grease is taking care of the citizens on Kobo from the Bedlam Raiders. Again, dangerous, but not actively committing insurgent acts against the Empire. Cal is I think they call him a terrorist several times in this game, and that's what he is. He's actively putting himself in harm's way all of the fucking time. And it's just he's actively putting his life in danger, and that's what happens to his crew. Yeah. Jacob, I'll throw this to you first, actually.
Okay.
What are do you have anything else, first of all?
No, I feel like the ending is the least just of this segment. The ending of the Coruscant segment is the least exciting part. We do have Cal busting out of the underworld, escaping in the Mantis, but at the end, everyone else dies, and then because of the fact that everything that had been built up goes away, this does feel a little bit piloty, a little bit introductory of just, okay, now we're caught up with, we know who Cal is, who he's become.
Yeah, that's actually what I like about the opening.
What his MO is
that we, in a story sense, not a gameplay sense, but in a story sense, we drop Cal back down to 0.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, I feel like there's not too much to say about this final few minutes, except the rest of those guys. But this is Cal's show. But I like the way that they bring Bode in, because from the beginning, he is a character that you really want to commiserate with.
Yeah, no, the dude lost his daughter, and not lost daughter.
He lost his wife. He's trying to take care of his daughter.
He's trying to give his daughter a better life, and
But it puts it into perspective for Cal as well, that what he's doing is really special. That pretty much everyone else is in it for money in some way or another. You know? So that there's value there as well, I think, for telling us a little bit more about who Cal is and what he's about.
And we'll see Cal and Bo's friendship grow stronger in the game, of course.
Absolutely. Bode Akuna, you dirty dog. You nasty son of a gun.
It's still an unbelievable twist, and we'll talk about it, obviously.
It's unbelievable
how well it's pulled off.
It's the twist so good that the first time I saw it, I didn't even realize what had happened, and I had to like do a double take and say, "Wait, I had to rewind
Yeah.
and be like, did I really just?" It's so wonderful. It's so well done.
And you can see, and I might have us watch this for a Galaxy. I don't know.
Bode Akuna plot twist reaction compilation on YouTube.
I was gonna say that there are force echoes because Cal has that like psychometry-esque ability where he can set echoes in the force.
Oh yeah.
Where like after you finish the game, where you can hear like where you can sense previous stuff from Bode in the game and what he was doing and thinking and communicating with the Empire while he was pretending to be on Cal's side. And it's just beautiful how it's done. Yeah. What did you think overall of this segment?
Man, overall, I really enjoyed it. I felt like it's the perfect. We lucked out on the length that it dovetailed perfectly. 45 minutes was all the cutscenes for the Coruscant section. I think this was a great reintroduction, you know. After 5 years have gone by, Cal, he's rougher, tougher, more jaded, a little bit more ruthless, a lot more confident, a lot more swagger in his step. But it's great to see him back. And I think it's a fun story. It's definitely not the most. It's definitely not the juiciest that this game gets in terms of what they have to offer, but to start off, I think it's fantastic. I think it does everything that it needs to. I think it really does a good job of kind of setting that tone that I absolutely. There's something addictive about Fallen Order, but really Survivor. There's that it's that perfect combination of levity and fun and feeling like you're just discovering new things with also that feeling of intensity, that feeling of focus and desperation at times. I just love the way those two kind of swirl together to create this compelling mix of feelings and moments. I really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to keep rewatching it.
As I've said previously, yeah, my least favorite part of the game, but again, least favorite. Really, I just want to see more Coruscant, and also, did we really have to bring Ninth Sister back? But other than that, I really liked it. Like, Coruscant's always a blast to be on, especially in the Imperial era where we haven't seen it as much other than Andor, and I guess a little bit in Bad Batch, but not much. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a great introduction back to Cal and his mindset at this time. And yeah, it's really great. That's gonna be it for this episode of Star Wars and Galaxy. Next week, I am going to be joined by I'm going to be joined by Savvy and Linz from the Stardust Records podcast. We're going to be talking about the next 45 minutes of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We're going to be doing that. And in the meantime, though, you can listen to us everywhere at it. You can listen to us everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, we'll be there. Follow us everywhere at In a Galaxy Pod. Follow me everywhere at my Linktree, linktr.ee/_OchiFan327. And I think unless there's anything else, may the Force be with you always.